Blue Bomber linebacker number 4, Adam Bighill, the great Biggie, joining us on video chat this morning as we're talking about that championship, and he's still got his championship hat on. Good morning, Adam. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Very well, thank you. We were saying to the sports doctor, we haven't heard much out of Winnipeg. We've heard a lot from the Bombers, but not so much from the fans. Is the party still going in Winnipeg as far as you know?
Yeah, absolutely. We're taking the Grey Cup around everywhere. Sharing it with all the fans here in Winnipeg. We've got plans to take it out of the city, obviously, and take it to more rural Manitoba. And, because there are a lot of fans who drive several hours, 3 or 4 hours even, to come into games. There's fans from Dauphin that drive in, so it's only right that we celebrate with them too.
Well, I got to ask you about this championship because you had great years in BC, and I think you're going to the Hall of Fame. If this was baseball, I would have put you in a Lions hat going into the Hall of Fame, but now you're a Bomber. And when you re-signed, you were like, hey, everybody, we got something going on in Winnipeg. Follow me. I'm signing here. And to get to the top of the mountain after that kind of a bold proclamation, how does that feel?
It feels good. When I re-signed, we knew how close we were last year, a couple plays away. And, we really came together quick because we had such a great continuity of guys that we had built from the last year that came back, right? So our roster was very much the same. A couple new pieces. Obviously, Willie Jefferson was huge, getting him on our team as well as and so the things he was able to do. A couple other guys. We knew we were close, and that's why I wanted to be back. And not only that, I love Winnipeg. I love Manitoba. I love how football is so accepted out here, and the fans truly live and breathe it.
When did you, or have you even, started looking ahead? Because some of the analysts, former CFLers on this show, feel that they're primed to blow it up. Lapo's already gone. You got 3 free agent quarterbacks. How much have you started to look ahead to 2020 and what this Bomber team might be like?
Well, you have to kind of look. Because the goal now is to go back to back and do it again. We won. We were the champions. We will be the defending Grey Cup champions, but that's all we will be. Next year is going to be a new team, with the same goal. So, we got to be able to come out and prove who we're going to be right away. So that already gets you in the mindset of thinking about what our team makeup's going to be. Quarterback's obviously a big question mark right now. We did lose Lapo to Ottawa, obviously. So some big changes for us initially. So we're going to see how it all kind of shakes out with free agency, what happens with the quarterback situation. But nonetheless, it will be a different team. We still have some key pieces and key roles, and we're already re-signing those guys.
Adam, congratulations on the Grey Cup win. I bumped into you a week ago at a restaurant grand opening, and the people that were around you and everybody talking Grey Cup, and everybody had that great feeling, and you must feel proud. You had your family with you, your own family, your wife. That was a great moment. But my question is, at what moment did the Winnipeg Blue Bomber Football Club realize that they were going to win this? Because I was in the stands for the pregame warm-up, and the difference between the two teams. I think back at 2001 when Winnipeg played Calgary, and I saw that work ethic of the Calgary Stampeders under Wally Buono, and I didn't see any intensity from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Flipping the tables to a month ago, Winnipeg on the field, pregame warm-up. That was a different team that I'd ever seen before, and I saw nothing from Hamilton. What moment did you guys know that you had this one?
It's a good question, and I don't think it really just goes right into the Grey Cup game. I think the process started long before that. It started in training camp, started through the first 5 weeks of the season when we started 5-0. We hit a lot of adversity. We had some injuries. We had to bring all sorts of guys in off the roster, and it really kind of came to the point at the end of the year where I always preach, we got to play our best football in November. We got to be able to learn from our mistakes that we make through the year and stand on that foundation to move forward. And we were really starting to do that. and obviously the acquisition of Zach, bringing him in, and when he got that opportunity to play when Trevor went down, and how well he played. I mean, coming in, beating Calgary off the bench 1 week into the playbook, that's where I think I knew that we had a great shot to take this thing all the way through. So going through prep weeks from there forward, it was a really good confidence builder, knowing that we had the potential to win every single game if we just did what we're supposed to do. And then you talk about Grey Cup week, and we were practicing outside every single day. They were practicing inside every single day. They started their day one practice, finishing the practice with victory formation, so their mindset was different than ours. I definitely say that. We have the blue collar hard work mindset, and we're not afraid to put in the work. We're not afraid to be in the cold. We're not afraid of the weather. We truly had a really strong, mentally and physically tough team. So as we went into that week, and I kind of noticed those things. That's kind of when I noticed that, for sure mentally, I think we're going to have a big edge on them.
Adam, I was going to ask you about your playoff run. The Grey Cup game, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were one of the most dominant, outstanding, excellent football games I've seen in years, the way you guys played in the Grey Cup. If you take a look at your run, was it just the fact you guys peaked at the perfect day on that Sunday in Calgary, or was it the fact that, or was Saskatchewan really your toughest opponent that you had to get by Saskatchewan, or who, was Saskatchewan your toughest opponent, or did you just peak at the right time in Calgary and Grey Cup?
I think that's a good question. Obviously, I think we struggled the most with Saskatchewan in the playoffs. Playing in that stadium and that environment's never easy for an offense. So I know that was definitely a challenge. Defensively, playing against Cody Fajardo, he's a great football player, and he's really coming into his own. So that was a challenge, and the fact that he wasn't probably even fully healthy. So I'm not sure how much more he could have done, obviously, but he could probably speak on that. But I think he did a great job with what he had for that game, and leaving it all out there. So it was a tough game. It was a tough battle. The Calgary game, when we went in and played them in the semifinal, I knew that was the game that was going to set the tone for the entire playoffs, because they were going to be the team to beat for sure. For the defending Grey Cup champions, we had to go in there and start with that, and we made a great statement. Our prep week was amazing. Defensively, our mindset and what we wanted to achieve, we came in and consistently did that the entire game, and that was a lot of fun. And we talk about accepting the challenge defensively, and what we got to be able to do to win football games. Limit second down conversions, limit explosive plays, and stop the run, and enforce tight window throws. And so, when we did that all game long, it was a great boost going into the final in Sask. And we just kept getting better every single week, and we were peaking at the right time.
Janelle in Saskatoon's watching. She writes in, she says, I may be 100% Rider fan, but how can you not be a Bighill fan? 6-time All-Star, 2-time Grey Cup champion. He's bound for the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, probably your college Hall of Fame too if you're not in there already. But we're kind of watching a living legend here, and I kind of laugh because Chris Jones always said that you were a major pain in the ass to play against. So with all those accolades, that might be the thing you'd be proudest of, is it? That guys hate playing against you because you don't quit.
Yeah. I mean, getting the respect of your peers and opposing coaches coming up and telling you how great of a player you are, or how hard you are to game plan against. Those things are awesome. I mean, I take pride in being able to be a versatile player, being able to rush a passer, play the run, be great in coverage, go back and play safety, and then be sideline to sideline. Have no weaknesses. I never feel like I'm good enough. I always feel like I'm trying to get better. There's always things to improve on. So, I keep that mindset, and that's how I keep feeling like I can get better and better and better. And, I feel like being a leader on the defense and it really trying to make everybody else better around me as well. Those are key things I focus on because it's not just about me, it's about the guys I'm around and helping them be successful, giving them, keys, calling out plays, echoing checks and just making sure everyone's on the same page. I mean, I really try to do it all and be a big asset for my team and be someone the guys can rely on every single time.
I want to ask you one last thing. Something jogged in my mind here. I've often said the regular season's for lesson learning. You guys blew huge leads in Toronto and Montreal. And then in the Grey Cup, you had a pretty big lead on Hamilton. Did Osh at halftime say, guys, let's lock it down here? Did he even need to say anything? Was that, did those past losses haunt you in that game or even come into your mind?
No, he didn't say anything at all. I mean, it was us players coming in at halftime saying, okay, it's time to really put our foot on their neck. I mean, we feel like we're controlling the momentum of this game. We're controlling the pace of the game. We're running the football. We're controlling the clock defensively. We're getting them off the field. Let's keep going. So Osh does a good job of letting us players being able to kind of control the locker room and, deliver the messages. I mean, we got a good amount of veterans in that locker room and we know what it takes to win football games. So, he allows us to really work and make sure everything's going smoothly because he trusts us. So, the message going into playoffs was really on all the things that we have learned. As you talked about the losses we had, giving up big leads, or the tough games we lost by 4 points or less, or mistakes that we've made with penalties, stupid things, blown assignments, things we've done. And we before playoffs we re-highlighted those things, talked about them to really understand that playoff football cannot be that way. You cannot win games and if you're not going to learn from these kinds of mistakes, and not that we were worried about it, but the fact that it's always good to remember where you came from this season, what you've learned, and like I said before, learning from those mistakes we made and standing on that foundation to be able to launch yourself forward. So that's the way I would explain it.
Adam, you are a living legend. Congrats on this latest Grey Cup and enjoy the party. Thanks for the time and Merry Christmas.
Appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Take care.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.